Hello and welcome to another edition of UFO Video Addicts. Sorry for the technical difficulties I was having there for a second. But anyways, let me give you a quick preview of what I got coming up in this video. The first is going to be an analysis of this strange object that came floating down in Mexico. It was hanging out by some dogs or like a train track or somewhere, and there were some dogs there checking it out. But it floats by. This guy does a long. This is a 36-minute video, long analysis of all this. But anyways, we'll look at that. Also have this compilation. This is a video that's over an hour long, hour and 19 minutes, but it's 50 UFO photographs from California. So yes, this guy put together all of these different images of UFOs that have been seen around California. And, I've always said that with the number of sightings around Santa Monica and San Diego, I'm pretty positive there's a base down there, UFO base. And anyways, I got this Preston Dennett here also. Coastal California UFO contact cluster, 5 true cases. Here he tells you, it's a 33-minute video. He tells a story about 5 different stories about people encountering UFOs around California. Why don't you start looking through MUFON's site? There's way better content than YouTube. Let's see. Well, Blake, if you want to start a channel, you can go through MUFON site. This is the way I do my channel. UFO recorded in Mexico somewhere last year from Reddit. Also have this video here, UFO caught by local news weather camera. And this is a video I know I've played before, but this is a Clifford Stone, I think his name is. But this is a small clip from Stephen Greer's Disclosure Project in 2001, November, I think it was November 9th, 2001. It was like a 4-hour clip, but this is just a short section of it where this guy talks about the different types of, or the number of species and the type of crafts that our government has categorized. Let's see. I also have this video here talking about these tunnels that some people are saying it was made by these giant prehistoric sloths. I know other people have some different ideas, like maybe they were old lava tubes. But in one of these, I did a video where at the end of one of these tunnels, they found a bunch of artifacts. But this is an interesting video. Also have this video here about this rock art that was discovered in the Amazon rainforest. I think they said it's like 8 miles. Yeah, 8-mile wall of prehistoric rock art from definitely from different periods. But they think based on the type of animals that some of the people drew that it's like 11,000 years old. Also have this website here that's taking a look at this ring that was found with King Tut, which seems to show, something that looks like an alien. Man, I wish they had there's a better photo of it. But this is as large as the photo you're going to get. But yeah, you can kind of see that, there's an alien shape there. And then last is this article here, this website about these Ica stones. Now, yeah, these are some more stones that would indicate that, man or maybe dinosaurs didn't go extinct 65 million years ago, because some of these stones show human beings riding, like here. No, that's not it. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it shows human beings riding, different dinosaurs. But if you read through this, it says that the one guy that was studying these or had a bunch of these got arrested because he wasn't supposed to have ancient artifacts. So then he came up with a lie, or I think, or again, it's a bunch of controversy going on. But when he got arrested for having artifacts, ancient artifacts, he said, "Oh no, they're not ancient artifacts. I made all these." He said him and his wife made it, so that he could, or that he wouldn't get in trouble. So he was released, and then he claimed that no, they were, or that he didn't make them. So yeah. Now I think that it might be a cover story. I don't know, But his father says that he had them in the 1930s. But apparently, there's thousands of these things. So, anyways, let's look at this video here. Now, let's go to this original video that shows this thing. Let me go full screen here.
Un perrito negro en una bolsa, otro perrito rascándose y otro que no se vea.
Yeah, this is in Spanish. I don't think most people are going to understand that. But so we can just watch this thing. But yeah, watch this thing come, cruising down here. And yeah, you can see that, the dogs definitely notice it. But I mean, could this just be like a balloon, a remote controlled balloon? Because look at the dogs here are wagging their tails, so they don't seem like they're fearful. Yeah, look at the way this thing moves. It just moves like it's floating as opposed to something being controlled. But anyways, in this video, you get several different angles of it. Here, so let's see. Here's when it's going away. But anyways, this guy, like I said, this is a 36-minute video. Here, trajectory analysis. But the guy really, goes through a lot, and he even comes up with these digital images that what he thinks it is here. I think this is like a digitally enhanced, and then he's got also like AI, what he thinks a AI looks like, or a artificial intelligently generated image. Yeah, so I don't know about this one. This. I mean, when you look at let's see, oh, this one here, I mean, except for this, whatever this thing is here, it kind of just looks like maybe a balloon with sheets on it, and maybe the guy was, or maybe it's a drone. Maybe it's a remote controlled balloon drone with a sheet over it. But I don't know. Again, like I said, the reason why I leave these links is so that you can check them out yourself and make your own decisions. I'm not going to say yes or no. Anyways, this is another 1 hour 19-minute video. This guy just showing all of these different UFOs UFOs that have been seen over California. Here's the Battle of LA when they fired at it. Yeah, look at all these random photos. Look how old this is. And anyone who want to say this is Photoshop, I mean, just come on, give me a break. We're so past that at this point. I mean, not to say that that their stuff isn't fake. Of course, there's a lot of fakes out there, but I mean, at a certain point, you just have to accept the ones that are real. And a lot of these images. I mean, yeah, back when these photos were taken, I mean, if anyone were faking photos, you would be able to tell they were faked. Especially today, with all of the software we have today, we could easily run this through Photoshop and be able to determine whether it's real or not. And we've done all that. And a lot of these photos are real. Yeah, and you just consider the amount.
A teenager named Tom. He was 14 years old, and he saw this dark hatch.
Yeah, you think of the number of videos and photographs that have been taken and that have been discussed about. There's the airships from the 1800s. Like I said, they're not all visiting. I'm for sure some are visiting. Yeah, some of them have to be visiting. But the majority of these, I mean, we see the same crafts over and over again because, yeah, we're not alone on the planet. Anyways, here's this guy, Preston Dennett. I mean, he comes out with, a lot of these videos. But in this video, he talks about five cases of UFO encounters that people have had around Catalina. So let me just play a little bit of this.
Episode of UFOs and the Paranormal. I call this episode Coastal California UFO Contact Cluster, 5 True Cases. Each UFO encounter provides another piece of the puzzle to solving the UFO mystery and helps us understand the ET presence on our planet. And in this episode, I'd like to present to you 5 cases which I think contain some very unusual and in some cases unique elements, which provide some interesting insights into UFOs and extraterrestrials. And what I find particularly interesting about these cases is that they all took place within a very small radius of each other and very nearly the same location. I chose these 5 out of well over 150 encounters. So I hope you'll find it interesting. And let's just get started.
Again, I don't want to play, too much of Preston's video here, but of course, I'll leave the link in the description. You can go to his channel here, Preston Dennett, and listen to his videos. He's got a bunch of videos. He does extensive research on this stuff. This guy knows what he's talking about. And he just said it. There's an alien presence on the planet. And I still don't understand why so many of the other UFO channels out there that are talking about this haven't come to this conclusion. And I've also seen some other like YouTubers out, that are still like making fun of UFO videos and trying to like debunk actual videos, like a bunch of douchebags. Anyways, check out this one here. This is from Reddit. Yeah, this type of UFO here. I mean, this is seen so often with the 3 lights. I cannot count the number of videos that I've seen. So obviously, this is something, this is a craft that's being used by one of our neighbors. No, you didn't really miss anything juicy. This basically just started. I think this is like the second tab that I'm showing. Just a couple weeks ago, there were a bunch of sightings of a very similar craft like this all over San Diego. People were posting images and videos on Twitter and on Instagram, and even in like Ensenada, Mexico, they were seeing this thing. Anyways, that's that video here. Let's go to the next one here. This is a UFO caught by local news weather camera. Again, and this is, this similar situations has happened multiple times where these newscasters are doing their live feed, and there's a camera in the background showing a live cam, and you'll see something go by. And I've done a video. It happened in Brazil. It's happened in London, and here's this one here. So let's check this out. It's only just over a minute long.
Into Local 22 News at 5 this morning, we may have caught something unexpected on our weather cameras that even has Alex and I completely stumped. Take a look at this clip from our show earlier today. You can see the shape in the top left of your screen move in a way that doesn't appear to be consistent with that of a cloud, bug, airplane, or anything of the sorts. Although it could be some sort of explainable phenomenon, I'd like to think we've seen a UFO over Colchester. What do you say, Alex?
Well, we're not saying that aliens aren't real this morning, but we just don't know what it is. It's not a bug. It's not a plane. It's kind of a faded oblong shape. So
very
It
geometric.
has a shape like a UFO.
It's not shaped like any bug I've ever seen.
No. And when we typically think of UFO sightings and alien spaceships, if you will, they have that kind of saucer-like shape, and they move erratically like it did across the screen there. So
right. And when you understand the word cloaked, and you realize that these people have the technology and the ability to cloak themselves, then that that being a cloaked alien craft or a cloaked craft, isn't unbelievable. Anyways, let's go to this video here. Now, this is a 3-minute, 56-second long video. I'm going to go ahead and try and play most of this, or I'm going to play it and then stop, and maybe I won't get hit with the violation. But anyways, in this clip, there's a reporter. Okay, well, again, let me set this up. This is from the Disclosure Project, November 9th, 2001, at the National Press Club, I think in New York City. But you can see the entire, media, right? All the reporters are there because this is at the National Press Club. This is, I guess you could say, this was the beginning of disclosure, at least by Stephen Greer.
I could, but it would probably
yeah. So the reporter asked me, what do the aliens look like?
Take a whole lot of time. The reason I state that, when I got out in 1989, we had cataloged 57 different species. You have individuals that look very much like you and myself that could walk among us and you wouldn't even notice the difference, except for some of the things that they might be able to go ahead, even in a dark room, and touch an object and go ahead and identify what color that object might be. They would have a heightened sense of smell, sight, hearing. The situation is that you have various types of what we normally call grays. We didn't call them grays in the military, but you had at least 3 types of the grays. You had some that were much taller than we were. The unique thing that I'd like to point out for the most part is that the entities that we did catalog were in fact humanoid. Now, this created a situation where the scientific community was trying to figure out why that would be the case, because you would expect that if life evolved on other planets, that they would take on some type of other being, so to speak, not necessarily look humanoid or be bipedal such as we are. But apparently, we got quite a few of the species out there that are humanoid in appearance, and that creates a question that yet has to be answered by science.
You know what? There was it's not in this section here, but another part of the video, he uses this term called bilateral symmetry, which was the first time that I ever heard that term used. But it's essentially, what he's saying is that all of the creatures that they've so far encountered all have bilateral symmetry, just like humans, which is right hand, left hand, right eye, left eye, you know what I mean? 2 of everything. Yeah, there are most of them all, but again, and not in this clip here, but they do mention a species that it looks more like a blob, and he says it's a highly intelligent species, but they're basically just a blob.
Yes, and as I call on you, please state the news agency that you were with. Yes, ma'am.
Deanne Dennis with United Press International. Could you please address the vehicle that there was a drawing displayed of? Why would this vehicle be on display at an air show? What is the power source that you are asserting is going to be so very useful? And how can you determine this vehicle is not something that is being developed, by a government agency?
Yeah, now this part, he's going to explain that this is an alien reproduction vehicle, which is a vehicle that was created by American corporations based on alien technology. And I think that the drawing that he puts up is by that guy McCandlish or something like that. I can't remember his name.
In fact, I think that was the testimony. This is an alien reproduction vehicle, and just to be clear, this means that it is based on advanced anti-gravity and zero-point energy propulsion systems. Those are the propulsion systems. They are being manufactured by a consortium of companies that include Lockheed Martin, Northrop, SAIC, and other corporations. They do have superluminal capacity, in other words, faster than the speed of light capacity. I think Mr. McCandlish and other witnesses that he's identified could go.
Yeah, McCandlish, that's the guy that drew these. And he was recently suicided.
go into more of the technical physics of it. I'm just a country doctor from Virginia, I tell people, I mean, really. And, but this is actually what is the reason it's called alien reproduction vehicle is that it's based on the study of extraterrestrial vehicles, but it is manufactured by human military intelligence, aerospace contracting arrangements. And this is very important. It means that we, Homo sapiens, have the ability to access this so-called zero-point field of energy, which is the ambient field of energy from which all matter and energy is fluxing, and can access that energy and generate all the power we need to run this planet without fossil fuels or pollution.
Do you have any direct evidence, though, that this, I mean, we're talking about the same government that's so appropriately named as a super program carnivore. So just because it's named the alien reproduction vehicle, considering the history and the questions that have been existing for such a long time about flying saucers, I mean, do you know, is there any...
Yeah, look at this. This is the entire media corps back in 2001. All of them were at the National Press Club. You know, they recorded this, but the next day, because remember, I was into this when this all came out. So I remember, you know, wanting to read the newspapers the next day. There was nothing in any front page paper about this. And if a newspaper did talk about it, it was buried, you know, within the pages. And then remember, this happened in November 1st, 2001. And a few months after that was September 11th. So yeah, September, you know, the events of September 11th quickly dwarfed any of this this news here. So this was all forgotten in place of September 11th.
Direct reason to believe that this is actually derived from technology, and the witnesses who can attest to that, and how would this a propulsion system, a rocket engine doesn't necessarily translate into
I don't
electricity.
think he doesn't really get into it, but you know, this guys are just saying that our government has categorized, you know, at this time, 57 different species of aliens, and he also talks about how they've categorized different types of crafts and how all of the species don't necessarily have the same technology or the same level of intelligence. He talks about how some of the civilizations have craft that have to land on the ground, you know, and a door opens up and the people walk out. Other species, other civilizations have craft that can do like a tractor beam, and you know the people can float down, and then others have the ability to open up wormholes or dimensional portals, you know, so that they can pop in and out of reality. Again, when they talk about all these additional species, it's not just like one monolithic entity. You know, remember the universe or the galaxy is huge. There's so much different life out there, yeah, and they're not all at the same level. Again, you know, what is that one Kardashev scale? You know, they talk about how there are type 0, type 1, type 2, type 3, and type 4 civilizations. We are now just becoming a type 1 civilization because, you know, we are now starting to use wind energy and things like that, and we're getting off of fossil fuels. We know now that we've discovered a type 3 civilization. You know, the scientists have basically confirmed, they haven't released it publicly, but they have confirmed that Tabby star, the Kick 861, whatever it is, that yeah, they're pretty sure that there's some type of giant metallic structure around the sun, right? A Dyson sphere. They're basically confirmed that you know that they're out there. But anyways, let's go to this video here. Yeah, so now this video here is about these ancient tunnels. You know, I mean, some people are saying that they were built by these giant sloths. Other people say that they're lava tubes. I'm not convinced yet.
Scientists discovered massive caves. When they realized these enormous caves weren't made by geological processes, they started to wonder what kind of creature made them. The holes are large enough for an average-sized adult male to stand up in, so whatever it was, it had to be gigantic. Deep within the Amazon, there is a Brazilian state called Rondônia. Rondônia is known for its vast rainforests, making it one of the densest areas in the region. Fredonia is where scientists discovered that the large caves were actually more like giant caverns that were almost tunnel-like. In fact, these caverns stretched nearly 2,000 feet into the ground. Scientists knew that these caves were unique because they had many different characteristics than the naturally carved caves nearby. The floors were smooth and flat, while the walls were curved. They also found mysterious marks all over the walls, which really puzzled them. The markings really stumped researchers because they realized they couldn't have been made by any known tools. Upon closer examination, it finally dawned on them what created the markings. The only thing
Yeah, now see, with this thing here, I think the markings were created after the tunnels were created. I think that, that if there were giant slots, yeah, that the tunnels were being used by the slots because they were already there.
that could have created them was a large clawed animal. The now extinct creature must have been massive to be making those size gouges. Of course, the idea that a giant clawed creature previously unknown to man could have made those caves wasn't a solid conclusion. They still had to figure out what kind of animal it was, and they couldn't find any evidence of it. After pondering for a while and eliminating other theories, they finally decided the animal that clawed the giant caves actually has ties to a living creature. In the beginning, the popular theory that the animals were giant ground sloths began to stick. The giant sloths would have died out around 9,000 years ago and were similar, yet very different from the modern day tree sloth. However, not everyone agreed with the giant sloth theory. Some
Yeah,
believed
anyways, that's as much as I want to play with that. Yeah, I'm not convinced that they were giant sloths. I think that they were cut out or bored out by something else, by some kind of mechanical tool. What was the name of that chap who had the radio show? I think it was called Pale Horse. He was killed in the Milton Cooper, I think it is, or William Cooper. Matt, I think that's what you're talking about, William Cooper. Anyways, that's that. Let's go to this. Oh yeah, this just 8 mile long prehistoric rock art. Let me just play a little bit of this.
Team and funded by the European Research Council. The paintings were probably made around 11,800 to 12,600 years ago. Their date is based in part on descriptions of now extinct Ice Age animals like mastodon, a prehistoric relative of elephants that has not lived in South America for at least 12,000 years. There are also depictions of Paleolama, an extinct camelid, as well as giant sloths and Ice Age horses. The rock paintings vary in size, and some are so high up on the cliff face that they can only be viewed with drones. Among the other animals depicted in rock art are fish, turtles, lizards, birds, and people dancing. Human handprints can also be seen. In the Amazon, most native tribes are believed to be descendants of the first Siberian wave of migrants, who are thought to have crossed the Bering Land Bridge up to 17,000 years ago.
This idea that people crossed land bridges, I think it's so ridiculous, okay? Because hunter-gatherers today's current hunter-gatherers are not explorers, or not. They don't consider themselves explorers. They're pretty sedentary. You can look at every hunter-gatherer society that currently exists on Earth today. None of them are into exploring. They're all sedentary. They get set in their ways and they just do whatever their ancestors did. So the idea that, people in the past were like, wanting to go out and seek the unknown it's such nonsense. Because again, people in the past, you would have to know, you would have to be able to carry enough food and stuff like that with you, or water. Because how would you know if you're even going to encounter water or whatever? But anyways, that's kind of interesting. Let's go to this. This is kind of interesting here. The strange ring of Tutankhamun found in his tomb. Ever since the inception of humanity, human civilization has come across several artifacts that keep challenging the history that we know. The ancient tomb of Tutankhamun was officially discovered in 1922, but ever since then, scholars have attempted to explain the numerous subsequent discoveries. One such discovery is the strange ring of Tutankhamun. For instance, the artifacts that have been so far discovered in the tomb of Tutankhamun, though the majority of pharaohs were surrounded by usual objects, so such artifacts may not appear to be all that exceptional. However, when it comes to the artifacts discovered in the tomb of Tutankhamun, are the most mysterious of all. Let's see, however, despite the rich artifacts that have been found inside the tomb, it is safe to say that the tomb of Tutankhamun, number 62 in the Valley of the King, was less decorated and is comparatively small in size with the other tombs. The reason behind the modesty could be the tender age of Tutankhamun and the total number of years his reign lasted, which was only 10 years. Whatever. Let me just get to this ring. Here, the mysterious ring of Tutankhamun. The alien ring, which was discovered right next to the young pharaoh, is made up of strange material, and the stranger fact is that an alien figure has been carved on it. The Egyptologist who discovered it indicated that it was all a misunderstanding because it is a portrait of a Ptah, the ancient Egyptian god. See, that's what all of these fucking scholars, these goddamn quackademics, if they come across something that doesn't fit into their preconceived belief system, then it's just myth. I'm so sick and tired of that fucking excuse or explanation. Nevertheless, the explanation is not sufficient enough to rule out the possibility of an alien figuring on the ring, as no other depiction of the Egyptian god even matched this, of course. The figurine is no way resembles an earthly origin. Surprisingly, as per the mythology followed by the Egyptian, it is believed that the ancient Egyptians were in close association with the extraterrestrials, worshiping them as gods. The figurine depicted on the ring is also carrying a staff in his hand, and it is believed that the staff possessed a magical stuff which could control the weather, break rocks, and other miracles. Could it be possible that the staff was a high-tech tool? Now, how do they jump to that conclusion that the staff possessed magical stuff which could control the weather, break rocks, and other miracles? Based on what? What exactly is that based on? Anyways, I thought this was kind of interesting, and again, definitely goes back to confirm that there must have been some type of alien intervention with the ancient Egyptians. Anyways, that's that. Now let's see. Last is this website here about these Ica stones. The Ica stones, proof that humans and dinosaurs lived together. Some things in life are accepted as being true, like Rice Krispies only make a limited number of sounds, or birds are not real. Other things are apparently up for debate. For example, did you know that a farmer in Peru found stones depicting humans not only walking with dinosaurs, but also domesticating them? That's not all. Some of these stones even depict advanced scientific and geographic knowledge. Could these parts, out-of-place artifacts, be real evidence of an advanced anachronistic culture? Anachronistic. I have no idea what that means. Anachronistic culture in Peru. I gotta look that up. Anachronistic. Some carvings look quite compelling. Let me look that up real quick. Anachronistic. What the hell does that mean? Oops. Anachronistic. Anachronistic. The representation of someone as existing or something is happening in other than chronological, proper, or historical order. Interesting. Not in its proper order. One that is out of its proper or chronological order, especially a person or practice that belongs to an earlier time. Okay. Anachronistic cultures in Peru. Interesting. Okay. Some carvings look quite compelling. The andesite stones have a thin patina of clay around them, perfect for carving shallow pictures in. This makes it great for use as an art project, for proving creationism, or for making money. You get to make up your own minds. Yeah, everything that I've read about this, I think that this guy did find these, and he only came up with the story in order to get out of the predicament he was in because he was arrested for possessing ancient artifacts. So I think he came up with the story that him and his wife created these in order to get himself out of trouble. The Inca stones were made famous by a physician named Dr. Javier Cabra Darquea. I think that's how you say that. He was given his first stone as a birthday present by a local farmer named Basilio. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. In the village of, I'm not going to try and pronounce that, near Ica City, Peru in 1966. Dr. Cabrera's father had collected similar stones in the 1930s. Acucaje? Acucaje. Engraved upon the andesite stones he was given was what appeared to be an extinct species of fish. Dr. Cabrera grew obsessed with the stones and the mysteries they held. Sensing a titanic discovery on the horizon, he needs to find more of these. Anyways, this goes on and talks about how he was given more. He ended up buying a bunch of them. And then, they arrested Basilio, and he was informed of the penalty for grave robbing and selling archaeological artifacts. So I think that's why he came up with the story that he created them himself, because he was arrested. But then good, because then he changes his story. But anyways, according to him, there's thousands of these things. Now, even if they were created, in the past, how is it that whoever made these knew what dinosaurs look like? Because they don't, I don't see one here, but there's one that shows what is it, Tesaurus or something, the one with the armor on its back. Hi, Tyler. I'll wait till Bart's finished, and I'll be happy to chat on the subject. Don't want to come across as we were talking about something different. Okay. Thank you very much, Matt. You know what, Matt? If you want, I can send you a link if you want, and you can join the live stream. Can I do that? Anyways, let's go to this last one here. Oh yeah, I guess that's it. Oh yeah, I was just looking up looking that up. But anyways, once this live stream is finished, I'll go ahead and it's going to take me about 10 minutes to add all of these. I'll add the links to the in the description, but I'll do that. Just give me a few minutes. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. If you like things like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'll have more things like this. Take care.